There's a belief many of us carry into our old age, that if something has lasted this long, it must be solid. A company that's been around for decades, a brand everyone recognizes, an investment that's always been fine. We trust longevity. And honestly, that instinct served us well for most of our lives. It's how we chose careers, built families, made decisions. You stick with what works. You don't fix what isn't broken. But here's what nobody tells you. In today's world, a long track record can actually make you less likely to notice the warning signs, because familiarity feels like safety. And when something feels safe, we stop asking questions. Circuit City had 50 years of history. It had billions in sales, hundreds of stores, and a name that Americans trusted completely. It also had just 14 months between its last profitable quarter and the day it shut down every single store permanently. Not a slow decline, not a quiet fade, a collapse. And the people who never saw it coming weren't careless. They were comfortable. They trusted what they knew. And that trust, that perfectly reasonable, well-intentioned trust, cost some of them a significant piece of their retirement. So today, I want to talk about what really happened, and more importantly, what it might mean for the savings you've spent a lifetime building. Because staying the same is not staying safe. And Circuit City is the proof. Do you have money sitting in investments you set up years ago, maybe even decades ago, that you haven't really looked at since? A mutual fund your broker recommended in the early 2000s. A stock you bought because the company felt solid, familiar, trustworthy. Maybe shares in a retailer, a bank, a cable company, something that felt like it would always be around. You worked hard, you saved, you made decisions that made sense at the time. That's not a mistake, that's responsibility. But here's the quiet danger. The world keeps changing, even when your portfolio doesn't. And the companies that felt unshakable 20 years ago, some of them are gone. Some of them are quietly draining the retirement you spent a lifetime building. You don't have to be reckless to be at risk. Sometimes the danger is in simply standing still. Circuit City didn't fail because it was always a bad company. In its prime, this was a genuinely great business. It pioneered the big box electronics store, trained its employees well, and was considered one of the gold standards of American retail. Wall Street trusted it. Customers trusted it. But something started shifting in the late 1990s. Best Buy was growing fast. Then the internet arrived, quietly at first, and then all at once. Amazon started selling electronics. People began researching prices at home before they ever walked into a store. Circuit City saw these changes. They weren't blind. But instead of adapting, in 2007, just 1 year before bankruptcy, they laid off 3,400 of their most experienced employees. Their highest paid store workers, the people customers came back for. They did it to cut costs, to look better on paper. And in doing so, they removed the one thing that still made them special. By 2009, every single store was closed. 34,000 people lost their jobs. And billions in shareholder value, including retirement accounts, simply vanished. It wasn't one bad decision. It was a pattern. They kept trying to protect what they had instead of building what they needed. Think of it like a house in a neighborhood that's slowly changing. Instead of updating the house, the owner just repaints the front door every year and hopes no one notices the foundation cracking. That's what Circuit City did. They trimmed and cut, but never asked the harder question. What does the customer of tomorrow actually need from us? They confused being well-known with being well-positioned. Staying the same is not staying safe. A big name in a changing world is not a shield. It's just a bigger target. Now, let's talk about you, because this is the part that actually matters. If you're in your 50s or 60s, the companies in your portfolio are facing the same pressures Circuit City faced. Shifting habits, new technology, competition from places that didn't exist 5 years ago, Retail, traditional banks, legacy media. These aren't automatically bad investments, but they are industries where the ground is moving. Here's what I see most often. It's not that people made bad investments. It's that they made good investments and then never revisited them. Life got busy. The numbers looked okay, but okay for now and safe for retirement are two very different things. Many of us feel uncomfortable with change. Selling a stock feels like giving up, but staying the same is not staying safe. Not for Circuit City, and not for your retirement. So what can you do? 4 simple things. First, schedule a yearly portfolio review. Just one honest conversation. What do I own? Why do I own it? And does that reason still apply? Second, check your concentration. Too much in one company or one industry is worth noticing. Diversification just means not putting all your eggs in one basket. Third, watch for familiarity bias. Ask yourself, am I holding this because it still makes sense? Or because it's what I know? And fourth, think about where the world is going, not just where it's been. Make sure some of your savings is positioned for the next 20 years, not just the last 20. Circuit City's story is a sad one. Good people, good jobs, decades of service. Gone, not because the world was cruel, but because the world changed, and the response was to hold on tighter instead of adapt. You are not Circuit City. You have something their executives didn't. Time to reflect, and the wisdom of a life well lived. A small adjustment today can make an enormous difference in where you stand 10 years from now. The goal isn't to predict the future. It's simply to stay honest with yourself about the present. Because staying the same is not staying safe, but staying aware. That is how you protect what you've built. And what you've built is worth protecting. Take care of yourself. And we'll see you in the next one.